This is something that anybody who seriously wants to work on a modern car can use. Of course, it doesn't do everything that the $2,000 one does. It's only 99 bucks, but wait till you see what it can do. Like any scan tool, you plug it in the OBD port. Simple to do. There's the port. You see which way it's angled, which is this way. You plug it in. You can see it's working, the green light's on. Then you go to the Ediag app and just turn it on. You just download it. It's simple to do. And we'll show you how you start off. You want to diagnose all system diagnostics. We will do a VIN scan. It is going to read the VIN. If it doesn't read the VIN because you have an older car, you gotta put it in manually, but as we'll see. Now, you notice it takes a little bit of time. Some people have complained that it takes too much time, but you can see right there, it read the VIN. It's now loading it, and this is a 16-pin, a regular OBD port. Out at the VIN, Sienna V6 engine 2015. Now, some people that reviewed the scan tool said, oh, I didn't like it, it's too slow. Realize one thing, this isn't a fast scan tool because it does so much. If you only want to see what your check engine light says, get the code, erase it, get basic features, you might not want to spend 99 bucks. You can get standalone scan tools for 29 bucks that'll do that, right? But that's not what this tool is for. This tool does so much that yes, it is relatively slow refreshing it, but it's only 99 bucks. I got a tool that's probably 10 times faster than this, but it costs $5,000. This thing is 99 bucks. Where do you see what it can do? Start with the health report. You can see now it's scanning the whole car, and look what it's checking. The ECM, ECT, airbag system, electronic motor power steering system. Look what it does. And if you don't have a system, it'll tell you it doesn't have it. See, four-wheel drive, it knows it's not equipped, right? Just found a code in the tire pressure monitoring system, but look at all the stuff that it does. It doesn't have a back door motor, but it's got immobilizer. Check that system. All these different systems that it can check. Like I say, if it doesn't have a system, it says not equipped. Look at the stuff that it's doing. Now, this is my son's Toyota Sienna van, so I know the whole history of the vehicle. We'll see if it knows the knowledge of what I know about it. It's got an ECM code, DTC, trouble code, right? So we'll read the code. And what does it say? Startability malfunction. Toyotas often give this because your battery's old. This needs a new battery. We're waiting for one to come. Company's sending me one to try out. I'm going to try out a new range of batteries for people, so we're going to put that in. It still starts, but it's weak. And I know it needs a battery. It's needed a battery for months. So that's something that means nothing in this vehicle. Oh, we'll go back to things that might mean something. You just simply go back. It's got a tire pressure monitoring code. What does it say? Cannot receive data from transmitter ID 2. And I know because the battery went bad on the transmitter, that's in that tire back there. It's been broken for years, and I know that's the problem because I have another machine that's just a tire pressure monitoring system checker. And what it did was it said that that battery was dead. It shows the percentage of battery and that one's dead. Let's check some more. Just realize, like I said, you can see it's taking time. It's only stuck at 52%. It could take a while because this thing does a lot. It's very complex software. It's not just a quick, cheap global OBD2. This is enhanced data. It takes a lot of computing power, and there's only so much computing power in a phone, right? But everybody's got phones. So why do you have to go out and buy a big machine for a whole bunch of money when you can just get their software with the dongle and use your phone? If you got a really cheap phone, it's going to work a lot slower, right? But it does work. You just have to have a little patience. So, there's another code. Rear door. Power slide door malfunction on rear left door. Again, there's no fooling this machine. Last year, guy was mowing a neighbor's lawn. A rock flew off his lawnmower and shattered that window. I had to take it all apart, put new glass in, and it's a motorized one, so I had to set all that crap, and I forgot to reset it. Pretty smart that the machine still knew that. Hey, this is a high-level scan tool. So for this one, we'll clear it because I've already fixed it. I was just too lazy to clear it. And you can see now it has no trouble code. But that's just the beginning of this tool. Check it out. You can actually actuate things with this. Check it out. The power window, we'll make the power window go down. There it goes. We'll make it go up. There it goes up. So let's say your power windows don't work. We're activating it. We can see that motor works. Now if it doesn't work, except when you use this machine, you'll know one of these switches is probably bad because it's getting power so the fuse isn't blown. And when this activates it, and it works, you know the motor works, you know you got a bad switch. Does tons more than that. Look at these actuator tests. Control the injection volume. The injection volume for the air-fuel ratio sensor. Activate the variable valve. Activate the fuel pump speed control. Control the fuel pump. Evap control. Idle control. Prohibit misfire of the catalyst. Control the electric cooling fan. I mean, watch this, okay? This is the cooling fan. You don't need all the data. The cooling fan's off. Let's see if it works. I can hear it blowing under the hood. Now we'll turn it off. You can hear the fans turned off. How easy is that to test your cooling fans? You put it on, it doesn't come on. Hey, check the fuses, make sure the fuses aren't blown. But if the fuses aren't blown and you turn it and it doesn't, odds are you're going to need a new fan motor. So you could take the fan motor out. You could test it with a voltage meter if you wanted to. But generally, this is going to tell you that the fan motor's gone. And some cars have 2 fan motors. And if you see only one's working, you know that the broken one needs replacing. Pretty cool stuff. And as we go down the list, control the variable valve timing, control all cylinder fuel cut, check the cylinder compression. You can even check your engine cylinder compression with this thing. There it is. Check it. Okay? We got the data here. We'll crank it, of course. First we have to push on. So it's on. We'll crank it over. You notice the fluctuation was 0, meaning that the engine has great compression. You can see by more data that I got, the engine speed of all the cylinders, here they go in that test, they're all 51199.22. The engine speed isn't different for any of them. That's just how well made these Toyota engines are. Having to take the engine apart, take all the spark plugs out, put a compression tester in to check the compression of the engine cylinders, because you think you might have a worn out cylinder. This baby does it like that. If you find out there's a big fluctuation, number 2, number 3, whatever, I would do the test 3 or 4 times just to make sure. But you see, it's so easy to do, who cares? I also say the same thing. If you do a compression test with a compression gauge, you push in the hole, do it 2 or 3 times for each one, because you want to make sure you got a correct reading. But this would immediately show you, hey, look, number 3 has got a big fluctuation. There's a problem in a number 3 cylinder. Compression is getting weak on it. This, no, it's working perfectly fine. They're all worn exactly the same. There isn't one that's worn out. As you can see, there's many things you can test on this. And of course, the thing is, you can test all kinds of other things too. Okay, let's say you got a problem with your cruise control. You got a problem with the cancel switch. When you turn it off, you can see if you have a problem with the CPU. It runs by computer like everything else. You can check the main switches. All kinds of stuff. You can even check the stoplight switch. Now, if anybody thinks 99 bucks is too much to get that kind of information, they're out of their minds. Mechanics charge like 200 bucks an hour. You're getting all this information for 99 bucks. And it works on lots of cars. Now, let's say you're stuck somewhere, but you're not a real mechanic. You can get all this information. You can make a report with this thing. This is a phone. If you have a good mechanic, you can send this information to the mechanic, and he can give you a pretty good idea of stuff that's going on. He may be able to tell you, oh, look at this. You can do this, and that'll fix it, so at least you can make it to me so I can fix it. Or he might say, hey, you know, there's a reset switch over there. Turn that on. This thing is kind of amazing for 99 bucks. You can also do ABS systems, vehicle traction, electronic motor power steering. If you got 4-wheel drive, you can get into 4-wheel drive. I already showed how it does the tire pressure monitoring system, and you can even do it if you have the fancy parking systems on it. So there you have the story of this Kingbolen, that's the company, Ediag Elite. Now, of course, it helps when you know a little bit more about cars. You can see there's a lot of serious information in this thing. You realize other things too, that if you know enough about cars, you know that Stellantis, Chrysler, Dodge, they're a scumbag company. So a lot of this high-level information, they will not allow you to access with this or any other scan tool. Now, I diagnose those things using my fancy big Telmaxi computer that costs $5,000, and I have to pay to join a society every year that it proves I'm a mechanic, and then I have a code, and then I can access all this enhanced data for Chrysler's, Dodge, Stellantis, Fiats. Even though I hate working on Fiats, I tell people not to buy them, but if they don't listen to me, I'll check them out and tell them what's wrong at least. This won't access those because Chrysler, Stellantis, Dodge, they lock you out of this really high-level information. So if you own one of those, don't think you're going to buy this and get all that information, because you won't. you're locked out of that stuff because of Chrysler. But as you see, Toyota doesn't lock you out of that stuff. Hondas, I've tried it on, they don't lock you out of that stuff. But there are some sleazy companies out there that they won't let you use this device or even a really expensive scan tool unless you prove you're a mechanic and join one of these societies and pay dues every year, so you get a code so your scan tool can then communicate with them. And believe you me, those scan tools are all expensive scan tools too. They won't allow any cheap scan tools. It has to be on Chrysler's list of, in quotes, approved scan tools. So if you own one of those, you're gonna have to do a lot of research and you're gonna have to spend a lot more money to get enhanced data. But if you own a Toyota, Honda, Ford, GM, these things get an awful lot